Mr. David Lennon from St. George's University. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning and thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, Dr. Lennon, we said that you were one of the first faculty members of the St. George's University. Tell us
In terms of time, I'm the third.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's
Dr.
that's
David
high.
Brown and Dr. Vishnu Rao
Right.
have 18 months on me.
Wow.
I came to Grenada first in August of 1978,
Wow.
and I've been here ever since.
Wow.
Nice. That's pretty good.
Good. And SGU, of course, has just celebrated their 35th anniversary.
Yes, ma'am. The actual anniversary was Tuesday, the 17th.
Okay, so tell us about your 35 years at this institution.
Well, I only did 33.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
To do the math.
Yeah,
Close
minus
enough.
the
To
18
do the
months.
mathematics. It has been my life. I have spent half my life living and working in Grenada at this point in time, and it required quite a commitment. It was quite an adventure, but let me tell you, it has never been boring, and I have never for one moment regretted coming to Grenada.
Wow,
It has
I'm
been
happy
very,
to
very
hear that.
exciting.
After 32 years?
33,
33
yeah.
years? Yeah.
I've made my home here.
Wow.
I raised my children here, I met my wife here, I built my home here. So Grenada and I have become
One and the same.
inextricably
Yeah.
entwined.
Okay, that's good.
Now, SGU is 35 years, and Grenada, we're celebrating 38 years this year. So you've almost grown with the independence of Grenada as an institution. How has that been for SGU?
I can't speak for the university proper because I'm rather far down and I have no authority to represent the university in public. But it has been an incredible adventure and a learning experience for us. We are becoming closer and closer to the culture, to the people of Grenada. And I see this continuing
Right.
very much into the future, to where our involvement will become only deeper and deeper as we go, and we're approaching now the second generation of administrative personnel and of faculty personnel. We're starting to look at these people coming in, and it's really exciting. I'm really happy to be involved in this, and I'm very happy to have been one of the first.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen Grenada develop unbelievably in the time that I've been here.
Right. And what about the same contributions to Grenada? What sort of ways have SGU been contributing to,
Well, the financial contribution is obvious, and I don't think I need to emphasize that. It has been, shall we say, a steady population of permanent, semi-permanent tourists
Right.
who have contributed quite a bit economically to Grenada. But on top of that, we have contributed to the health care in Grenada. We've contributed to the educational standards in Grenada. We're continuing to look for new ways that we can make contributions to the people of Grenada.
Okay.
We're looking now at educators. We're starting to see if we can start training people who in turn will enter into the educational system here at the primary and the secondary level to bring up the educational standards and help that. We're working with the healthcare system right now.
Right.
We've trained over 40 physicians from Grenada, most of whom are still here, still working in the island. And we're now negotiating. Now, I don't know the details of this, but I know we're negotiating with the government to become much more involved in the hospital, much more involved in the health care of Grenada than we have been in the past. So we're really looking forward to that.
Okay. So 33 years.
33 years.
Tell us some of your greatest challenges over the 33 years.
it seems like they're not.
No challenges.
Oh, there are a lot of
I like
challenges.
that.
I'm trying to think of something that I can say on the air.
Oh, okay.
But there have been no insurmountable challenges, obviously, since I'm still here.
Right.
But there have been adventures of one time or another. My personal challenge, was building a state-of-the-art Department of Medical Microbiology, literally from nothing. When I was asked to come here, the building that I was supposed to occupy, which was supposed to be finished, was a hole in the ground.
Right.
And there was nothing there, and I basically had to supervise the structure, the remaining work on the building, the installation of the equipment, which I, of course, had to order. And now I have a full-blown research department.
Okay.
I have 17 people for whom I'm responsible. And we're giving, not in addition to the MD degree, my department gives a master's degree We have a PhD program. We have already given PhD degrees, several of those. We have a very active research program. We get 6 to 8 publications per year in international journals, just from my department. And we're involved very deeply in exploring from a microbiological point of view. I know I don't want to bore you with this, but I get really excited when I talk about this.
Go ahead.
From a microbiological point of view, the environment of Grenada. We've discovered new organisms here.
Right.
Some in the hot springs, some in the sea, some in the marine life in the shallow waters around Grenada that have never been described before.
Interesting.
And for somebody in my field, this is very, very exciting.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to naming something after myself.
Yeah, of course. Why not? All right. So
Sounds good.
on the other hand, no. I mean, you just named something pretty great, but I want to know what you think is your best achievement, your greatest achievement over the 33 years.
My greatest achievement is founding that department.
And that was it. So that was your biggest challenge.
That
and your
was the
achievement.
biggest challenge. I came here, I was promised the sun, the moon, and the stars, and I was given a hole in the ground. And basically, I built everything with my own hands. The equipment, the things that we had to put in, there was no technical expertise for that. I had to do it with these somewhat shop-worn hands.
Right.
And I've learned to be a bit of a MacGyver.
Ah, yes.
So if something breaks, don't call me. I can fix it, but I'm tired of fixing things.
All right.
Right.
So, how did you get here? You know, what brought you to Grenada?
It's a funny story. I was, this is my 4th medical school.
4th medical
My
school.
4th, yes. I was teaching in my 3rd medical school in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, I don't want to denigrate Kansas City, Missouri, but I'm a Southern boy. And if the temperature drops below, say, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, I consider that to be a violation of my human rights. I just don't do well in cold weather. And I was offered an irresistible position in Kansas City, and I lived in Kansas City for 5 years. But I didn't like the weather.
Right.
It was extreme. The summers were extremely hot, the winters were extremely cold, and the transition from one to the other in the American Midwest is about 5 to 10 days.
That's not
It's very
long.
quick.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I entered an advertisement in Science magazine in 1976 that had 2 lines. New medical school in Caribbean, faculty wanted, send letter of interest to, and it gave an address in New York. And I sent a letter of interest and a resume and heard nothing from them. Nothing at all for a year.
For a year.
Wow.
And then this was 76. So in the fall of 77, I was called to an interview, and I went to the interview, and that turned out to be quite successful. I don't have the time to give you the details, but I could write a comedy on what this whole thing happened. And I was invited to come to Grenada and to finish my interview in Grenada. I interviewed in Grenada on Palm Sunday in 1978, and the weekend leading up to Palm Sunday. And it was beautiful, and I had never seen anything like Grenada before. I'd never been to the Caribbean before. It was breathtaking. And I went back to Kansas City, and Easter Sunday, it snowed 6 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I can dream of a white Christmas, but I cannot dream of a white Easter. That doesn't fit. And the chancellor called me sometime after that and offered me the position. And I just said, take me.
Right. So
Get me out of here.
the snow sealed the deal for
The
you.
snow sealed the deal for me, and I have never regretted that.
Right. Now, you mentioned that was 78, so what was your experience like during the revolution in Grenada?
Hilarious.
Okay.
How much time do we have?
Yeah, a little bit.
I sent my children to school like I did every day. My kids at that time were going to KD's. Mrs.
Nice.
Keen's
KD's,
Douglas
yeah,
school. Remember
yeah.
I
KD's?
spent a little time in Katie's
I
myself.
sent them to KD's school, and we had a taxi driver who would take them. Now, at that time, we were living at Point Celine, in the house that's directly above the Beach House restaurant.
Right.
Wow.
It's still there, lovely place. And they went trotting down the driveway to meet the taxi driver that took them to school, and about a half an hour later, they came back. I had 2 boys. And they said, I said, why didn't you go to school? And they said, well, we can't go to school, Dad. There's a revolution. Right. Now, these are boys. They're pretty creative. And so I said, right, sure. So I turned on the radio, and there it was. If you remember, well, you're both too young
Yeah,
to
of
remember.
course,
yeah.
But the revolutionary forces had taken the radio station at Moulin Rouge. And the radio, they were screaming into the mic, revolutionary forces have taken the radio and we're seizing the police station. This is going on and on and on. And so we listened to the radio the whole day. And Maurice Bishop came on. He made a very nice speech on the radio. And it was, I never heard a shot fired.
Right.
We just sat and glued and watched the radio all day long. And the following day, it was business as usual for us.
Okay.
So the revolution was not that spectacular from my point of view. It was a
Right.
radio show. And very little changed, by the way,
Okay.
in the way we interacted, and the way we worked.
Right.
Okay.
But-
Now back, sorry.
But the fun was when they started building the airport. And I had a front row seat for the
course.
construction of the airport. And my children used to go every day when they weren't in school. They would go and play with the construction workers on the airport, who treated them royally. It was a wonderful experience for them. So they brought them home every night very nicely, and so it was very good for my kids.
Okay. Good.
Nice.
Good revolution story.
Indeed.
It was very pleasant, actually.
Right.
Frightening until we found out what
course.
was going on,
Right.
but then it was fine.
Okay. All right. So, in terms of the celebrations for SGU's 35th anniversary this year, what have they done to celebrate?
What have I personally done to celebrate?
Well, you can tell us yours
Well,
as well.
we have. Well, we actually are doing it. It's a rather low-key celebration.
Okay.
We marked the decades rather than every 5-year period, and the big celebration was in the 20th anniversary. There will be a big celebration on the 30th, of course. There was. What am I talking about? And the 40th anniversary will be a big deal.
Right.
And I fully expect a year of festivities for that. In the 35th, we were basically just running up for it. And I'm deeply involved in the Faculty Senate, which is an advisory body to the university's administration. And the Faculty Senate has been developing and working quickly. We just did a retreat for the Faculty Senate with the Chancellor this past Saturday. And that, for me, that's the high point.
Okay.
That was at Spice Basket, and it was very, very well attended and very positive.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Not to mention Spice Basket is a wonderful venue.
Right.
Indeed, yes.
I'm actually yet to see it.
Are you serious?
haven't
You
seen
need
it?
to
I
get
haven't
there.
been up there yet,
Very
unfortunately.
impressive.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a computer here, and we have some pictures that we would like to share with the folks at home. You know, very interesting pictures, right? So honestly, I feel like we need to give a prize for this first picture. All right. Let's see.
Let's see, bring it up.
Bring it up. Let's bring it up. You know,
Good Lord.
I wish the folks at home. Who is this person? Can you guess who this is?
That is my younger brother. He was 50 pounds lighter. He still had some color to his hair. And that was taken a good, I would say, 25 years ago.
Right. Just so that the folks at home aren't confused, this is not his younger brother. This is actually
This is me.
Dr. Lennon.
And this is in your microbiology.
This is my old microbiology
Right.
laboratory. That is a site that we occupied up until, I'd like to say 2000. And in 2000, we moved into a new facility, which is slightly further up the hill on the campus.
Right.
So that laboratory is now part of the School of Veterinary Medicine.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, we have a few pictures to go through. It's gonna take folks back a bit.
Point Celine Lighthouse. I remember it well. In fact, I have a photo that I took from a boat that's very, very similar to that. And I remember that very, very well. I remember visiting the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And admiring the machinery and the mechanism and speaking to the police officers who maintained it. It was, I'm sorry to see it go in a way.
Right.
But then again, I'm very happy to see an airport.
Yeah.
That's the old True Blue campus. Slightly before the airport runway was extended to cover it up. And those buildings now are underneath the east end of the runway. Actually, the buildings are gone. They were raised.
So okay, if you had to point out exactly where the runway is right now, can you show me? You point it out right here. We have the. Is it down this side? Is it up here?
I'm a little bit disoriented. I believe that's where you have the cursor there is the end of the point.
Right.
And the runway came up, and the larger part of the runway came to the right of that.
Okay, this way.
Right, and
Oh,
from
so
there.
it comes here.
Right, it kept from there all the way out toward the point. They were just leveling the land now.
Right.
But if you look at the airport now, the end of the runway swells a little bit.
Oh,
There's a
that's
little bit
this
of a
right
dump
here?
down. Yeah, that's
This-
the very end of the runway,
okay,
and
right.
that actually extended further over, almost to the large central building that you see there.
Wow. Of course, we
And-
have a very different picture right now.
No, yeah, there's a bit of a change.
A
So you
bit.
see you can see the end of the runway on the upper right of
Yes.
the picture, and the very edge of that, the closer edge, right there is where the old campus originally was. That was the True Blue Inn Motel, or the Two Blue Motel,
right.
which goes back to the Cara Festa.
Right.
It was held, I believe, in 1968. It was before my time.
Were you there, Chrissy? Yeah.
No, but I've heard about it. That Cara Festa brought a lot of roads to Grenada. I
Yes, it
remember
did.
hearing that.
Well, all the roads in True Blue go back to that time.
Yeah.
There are no new roads until you get into the campus.
And of course, there's also Grand Anse campus as well.
Yes, the Grand Anse was one of our first campuses. That is in a building that no longer exists. It was actually moved before the runway was completed, and it's one of our 2 classrooms that we had in that open air building. You notice that one whole side is open.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Right.
liking that natural
Yeah,
air
that natural
conditioning
light.
there.
It was actually very comfortable. The problem was it was very difficult to show slides.
Right,
Ah,
of course.
yeah, the
of
lighting.
course.
And so it made our visual aids very, very difficult.
Okay.
I'm drawn to this guy who's having, a bit of relaxing
That's
time
how you
in
do it.
class,
And
Just
of course,
prop
he
up
had-
your leg and get
Wow.
education
Yeah,
in
to
your
be
brain.
the closest one in the picture. You see his leg is all up there with the
are
high
s-
socks.
There are some people who have developed the art of sleeping in class.
Oh,
Right,
yes.
right.
That is serious.
Not that I ever did anything
Of
like
course not.
This might be a bit much to ask you, but can you remember which class this was? Like, how early was this?
I would have to guess that was probably in either 79 or 80, possibly as late as 81.
Okay. All right.
Sometime after the Ravo, but before the intervention.
Right. Okay. You know, I like to point out there, Chrissy. Even though this is a very old picture, they say fashion, is a
Of
cycle.
course, yes.
These people seem to be dressed like how we dress today.
Yeah, almost for real.
All right, moving on. Now,
Yeah.
this is closer to present day.
This is very close to the present day. This is a lecture hall that we've opened only a year ago, Patrick F. Adams Hall, and this is the white coat ceremony.
Right.
I don't know if it's the last one. We had one Monday, as a matter of fact. I don't know if this photo was taken then or not. We've had 2 white coat ceremonies in that hall.
You can see packed with students.
It seats 810 people.
Wow.
But they're not all students. The back row is parents and
Okay.
family members.
Well,
All right,
which
good,
is okay.
All right, and look at this one now.
I do wish somebody would turn that around. If you take a look at that, it's backwards.
And we have a photographer in the back there looking very guilty.
I know. He and I have looked at that picture. That's
But-
the original gate to the True Blue campus, which you can't even find now. I could show you where it was.
Wow.
But the sign says St. George's University, and we had a security guard there.
Okay.
One of those pillars still exists.
What about the palm tree? Is it still there?
No.
No, okay.
No, the tree is gone. The flagpole is gone. The building between the flagpole and the sign that you can see in the background is the classroom where that picture was taken.
Okay, right.
okay.
Yes, you could see it there. You could make it out.
And those short shorts, boy. Okay, next picture.
Oh, that was rather daring in those days.
I must
Yeah.
say, did you have a pair of those?
I don't strike a pretty figure.
Okay.
That is the construction shack. That was, I'm not sure who put that up, but it was the builder who built Alumni Hall. And that was a portable building that they brought in, or a prefabricated building.
Right.
And they used it for the construction office. And after that time, the Dean of Basic Sciences and the Dean of Faculty set their offices up in there, and we used that as offices.
Nice.
And my office was in there at that
Oh,
time.
sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, good.
It doesn't matter. There's a bus stop there. This is the top of the hill right now, and there's a little open air pavilion, and there's some food vendors that set up in that
Right.
pavilion.
Oh, so this is where the bus stop
This
is.
is where it is now.
Wow.
The level has been raised on that now. This was the original food vending shop, and it was a little market The building on the right was a market, and you could buy a tuck shop,
Right.
basically.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I'm guessing this in the back here is the playing field.
That's the playing field. That's correct.
Right.
And all those buildings, didn't exist at that time. The sea is off to the right. It's
So
almost-
right here is the actual entrance where it is right
Yes,
now.
sir. Yes, sir.
Right, right. Okay.
We
Great.
relocated some of the original buildings, and on the extreme left, you can see one of the buildings with the silver roof. That's
Yes, sir.
one of the original True Blue Motel units.
Okay.
They were completely razed perhaps 10 years ago,
Okay.
and there's no trace of them left.
All right.
This is a stock photo of our students, one of our students performing an operation in an unidentified hospital.
Okay.
As a basic scientist, they don't let me near those places.
Okay.
So I can't comment too much. One of our graduation ceremonies, this is arts and sciences and graduate studies, public health.
That was my graduation.
Are you in there? Can you find yourself there?
Yeah, find yourself, Chrissy.
I'm behind. I'm in the corner over here.
She's in the corner. Is
Yeah.
this you here?
I think
there you
so,
are. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh wow, we have a picture of Missy Chrissy.
I hope you don't mind if we don't recognize you.
It's
there.
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. No problem.
It's like
I
a
believe
Where's
this-
Waldo
yeah.
picture.
I believe this was taken last May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, another old picture.
Very old picture. You can see the runway is still under construction, going out to Point Selene there.
Man, it looks really different. Like dry.
Wait a minute. Wait. No,
That looks like that drought period in 2010.
I'm
You
just
think?
I'm
It looks quite-
disoriented on that. This picture was taken in perhaps 95 or 96,
Right.
sometime in there. And there was only one building out toward the point. It's before Caribbean House was built. It's before our library was built. And the southernmost building there, your cursor
This
is
here.
above it, is the Department of Anatomy and the Windruff Allen Research and Educational Foundation.
Okay.
So that building was put up in the early 90s. So it's sometime between then and the building of the Caribbean House.
Oh, okay. And this is a more
Updated.
modern
This is
look?
a much more
Yeah.
recent
Updated
building.
picture.
This shows Morris Albert Hall, shows the Science Building, it shows Patrick Adams Hall. This picture is a year old or less.
Right.
You can see the basketball court and everything.
Construction of the Chancellery, mid-70s. I'm sorry, mid-90s.
And, okay.
Midnight. Wow.
That is a plane that was owned by the university in the early 1980s. We had operations at that time in Barbados and also in St. Vincent. And the pilot was Mr. Tom Gallagher, a very experienced pilot, and he flew shuttles between the three islands, Barbados, St. Vincent, and Grenada,
Okay.
for faculty members and for teaching materials. We actually moved papers back and forth, large amounts
Wow,
of
that plane.
examinations and things.
Nice.
And Mr. Gallagher and the plane both retired, I would say perhaps 85, 86.
Okay. Thank God for fax machines and email and all of that.
Email has done miracles. It has changed the way we do business.
Right, right.
We started out with a telex machine. One telex machine. That was it.
Okay.
And now we have such modern communications that I haven't seen a telex machine in 20 years.
Right, right, right.
Well,
Okay,
you
well, thank you for
certainly-
walking us through
Yes,
those
the-
pictures.
the
You know?
journey.
It's
there.
very much a pleasure. I appreciate your invitation, and it has been an honor to represent the university
Of course.
as best I can.
All right, thank you very much
Thank
for
you. It
coming
was
on the show.
indeed a pleasure having you here, Dr. Lennon
Thank you.
from St. George's University.